Hello, it's Eric here, and then so today we are on to video number 3 on this philosophy series, and then so today we're looking at rationalism, and this is a complete 180 to the previous 2 videos, and so by the way, I'm using the same Japanese song as the background music, and so I like it so much, I'm just gonna keep using it as the background music, yeah, and. All right, so today we're going to talk about rationalism, and then so the whole idea of rationalism is that is to the ability to be able to gain new knowledge, without depending on our senses. We can just use our intellectual ability, our deductive ability, our ability to use logic to gain new knowledge, yeah, without relying on our senses. Senses means like for example. Our sense of taste, our sense of smell, and then our eyesight and things like that. And then according to rationalism, we don't need those senses in order to gain new knowledge. Yeah. So let me give you a very concrete example. So let's look at the transitive property of logic. Yeah. So let's say for example, I have 3 kinds of fruit. Yeah. I have an apple, and I have an orange, and I have a pear. And so let's say for example, I like an apple more than an orange. Yeah. And then I also like an orange more than a pear, yeah. So therefore, by the transitive property of logic, then that means I like apple more than I like a pear, So that's just by deducing this knowledge by using the transitive property of logic, yeah. So in other words, I don't actually have to go and take a bite of an apple and take a bite of a pear in order to to convince myself that I like an apple more than a pear. You don't have to rely on the senses like that in order to arrive at that knowledge. Yeah, we just use our logical ability, deductive ability, intellectual ability to arrive at that knowledge. And then, so therefore, rationalism is very much, in favor of using reasoning, to gain new knowledge, yeah, without relying on our senses. And that is very much closely related to another school of thought, which is what they call the Socratic approach. Socratic approach, that means it's basically the approach used by the old Greek philosopher Socrates, yeah. And remember, he gave us a lot of allegories, a lot of stories about his teaching, yeah. And then, so this rationalism is actually very much closely akin to the Socratic approach, yeah, the Socratic allegorical approach, And so, as you can imagine, if you can gain new knowledge just by using your deductive ability, your intellectual ability, by your simple reasoning, then you may suspect that it's going to attract a lot of criticism, because in many cases we do have to rely on our senses in order to gain knowledge. In fact, that's the whole enterprise of science is all about. You do experiments and you make observations in order to arrive at a conclusion, and then you gain new knowledge. And so therefore, the ability to make an observation, that means you have to rely on your senses. So the idea to completely dispense with the senses and just use your intellectual ability to use deductive reasoning to arrive at new knowledge is definitely going to attract a lot of criticism, yeah. And so maybe in the next video we're going to look at some of the criticisms leveled at this Socratic approach of telling allegories, yeah. All right, I'll see you then. Bye.